Right. In the last video, I showed you how you can record beam equivalent pressure and flux data automatically. In this video, I want to show you what you can do with that data. So once you've got that data in, there's a couple of neat things you can do. The first, just down here, if you look on this form, you'll see that so I have the arsenic currently at 100, and the software tells me I have arsenic, but I'm currently not growing because I don't have any group 3 present. So if I open the gallium, for example, then it tells me I'm growing gallium arsenide, and it gives me the growth rate. This is all automatically generated from the flux data. Okay, and then if I open the aluminium, it tells me I'm now growing, well, almost 50-50 gallium aluminium arsenide with the growth rate. So this is a good sanity check, right? This is one of the useful features, right? But more can be found if we go back to the actual flux data. So if you're here, you look at the flux data, there's a couple of things you can do. Of course, you can look at the flux in atoms per nanometer squared per second, sort of impinging on the sample, or you can look at the growth rate. And in this version, I got the growth rate set in nanometers per second. You can set that at microns per second, microns per hour, monoliths per second, whatever you want as the unit there. So that's one cool thing. You can calculate some values. So, for example, if I was at 900 degrees, so what would the beam equivalent pressure be? Obviously, this is a lookup from this blue line. It gives me what the beam equivalent pressure is. What would the flux be? And what would the growth rate be? And so this is handy for when you're trying to kind of understand the system and calculate things. The next one, what you can do is you can go up here. We can look at composition. So this is basically for all the different temperatures of the system. It works similar to this version down here. So if I have an arsenic value and I set it to something and the gallium value, and if it was set to something and the aluminium value, et cetera, what would I be growing, right, when I opened this up, right? So I'd be growing binary gallium arsenide with quite a low growth rate right now. And if I threw in some silicon, I would be doping gallium arsenide, right? So this is useful as well for understanding compositions and what composition you would get for a given set of temperatures and the shutter combination. And perhaps even more useful is interpolating. So this is the final feature I'm going to show you for today in this video. And what you can do is you can give yourself a target composition, and you set the 5:3 ratio that you want, and the target growth rate, we say we don't want any doping in this, and a thickness. And then it generates for us here the temperatures for the cells. So it's got gallium, obviously, at 1050 degrees here. It's got indium, and they're both open. The arsenic is from a valved source, so it doesn't have a shutter here, but that's open. And we have the growth rate and the growth time. Okay, and then I can view here my script. This is the script that would grow this layer sequence, basically. No, you can't see it all in the window. Okay, here we go. So that's how it would appear. And this is a very useful feature for understanding and using the software as a tool. And I hope you enjoyed this video.